Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Pinchas. The question of the week is, how can we see positivity in everything? So this week, Parsha Pinchas is the first Torah portion that we're reading in the beginning of the 3 weeks. And those 3 weeks start on the 17th day of the month of Tammuz, and it goes until Tisha B'Av. And for those 3 weeks, every Shabbat, after we read the Torah, we don't read the regular Haftorah, but we read a unique Haftorah which is connected to the 3 weeks, the destruction of the two temples. So what happens in this week's Haftorah? So we have from the prophet Jeremiah, where God says to the prophet Jeremiah, and he says to him, what do you see? And the prophet Jeremiah says, Makel shoked ani royeh, I see a branch from an almond tree. So God says, yes, you see correctly, because the destruction I'm going to bring is going to be shoked. I'm going to bring it very, very quickly. So the almond, which is called shkedim, comes from the same word as quickly. And Rashi actually says that what's unique about shkedim, about almonds, is that it's the fastest fruit to grow. It grows in 21 days. So just like the shkedim, the almonds, grow in 21 days. So that's why it's a message for from when the breach in the wall of Jerusalem took place in the 17th of Tammuz until the destruction of the temple on the 9th of Av took 21 days. And that is the message of this week's Haftarah of Jeremiah. Shabbat asked a simple question. 1 second. Why would we read this Torah portion? This Haftorah, connected to the Torah portion, is because the prophet talks about how the destruction is going to come very quickly, namely from the 17th of Tammuz till the 9th of Av, which is 21 days. So if that's the case, why don't we call this period of time 21 days? It's all about 21 days. Why is it called the 3 weeks? And the Rebbe says, here you see something beautiful. We all know that God is good, and God does only good things. So therefore, what we see as a destruction, breaching the wall, the temple being destroyed, etc., that's what we see. But everything from God is good. Sometimes we see it revealed good, and sometimes concealed good. But nothing from God is not good. Everything is good and everything is great. Sometimes we get to see it with our physical eyes, and sometimes we have to imagine the goodness, and someday we get to see it. So in other words, Rebbe says, since everything from God is good, but now we're dealing with the 3 weeks of destruction, so we don't want to lose focus. We don't want to fall into the trap of negativity that we're in 21 days from the breach in the wall to the destruction, etc. And that's why the Jewish people don't call it 21 days. We call it 3 weeks. Why? What is 3? 3 reminds us of the ultimate building of the third temple, the third Beit HaMikdash. 3 reminds us of our connection, the Jewish people, and God and the Torah. So we focus on one thing only, the positivity, the third temple, our connection to God through Torah. So to answer the question, how can we remain positive even from the most challenging times? To remember, the Jewish people focus on the positivity. Like in this case, we focus on 3, which is the future, the building of the temple, and our relationship with God through Torah. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to the memory of Baruch Hanari Leib, Shlomo Yosef, Rachel Baslipa, Tzina Masara. May their souls be elevated by the Torah we're studying in their memory. Have a great and blessed week. Shavua Tov.